28 Years Later is the wrong sequel for Alex Garland, and a 6-year-old sci-fi horror proves it. Alex Garland has always been a writer and director with a distinct creative fingerprint, sharp, cerebral, and hauntingly human. His stories, often rooted in genre, elevate themselves beyond convention by grappling with philosophy, identity, and the fragile structure of society. From Ex Machina to Annihilation to the eerie allegory of men, Garland's cinematic world is a mirror held up to human fragility. Which is exactly why 28 Years Later, the long-anticipated third installment in the beloved 28 Days Later saga, may be the wrong sequel for him. And ironically, the proof lies in a 6-year-old film that he himself produced, Annihilation. To be clear, Garland is no stranger to the 28 franchise. He wrote 28 Days Later, arguably one of the most influential horror films of the 2000s, and co-developed 28 Weeks Later. His DNA is in the franchise. But that DNA has evolved. Garland's recent works aren't just about survival or action, they're meditative dissections of the human condition. 28 Years Later, by all early accounts, is positioned as a legacy sequel, perhaps bigger, louder, and more action-oriented, which could clash with the type of filmmaker Garland has become. Take Annihilation as the evidence. Released in 2018, it may not have become a mainstream blockbuster, but it remains one of the most sophisticated sci-fi horror films of the decade. Based on Jeff Vandermeer's novel, the film explores a mysterious area known as the Shimmer, where reality begins to unravel and mutate. At its core, Annihilation is about change, decay, self-destruction, and the unknowable terrors of the universe. It's deeply introspective, layered, and challenging. Garland didn't just direct a scary movie, he created a puzzle wrapped in poetry, leaving audiences disturbed not just by monsters but by the haunting idea of becoming someone else entirely. That's the kind of storytelling Garland excels at now. His talent lies in conceptual horror, the kind that sneaks up on you after the credits roll, as your brain continues to unspool its meaning. 28 Years Later, by contrast, might be constrained by the very expectations it carries. Fast-paced infected attacks, apocalyptic chaos, and a more linear morality tale. It's not that Garland can't handle those, he practically invented the tone for modern zombie horror. But does he still want to? In interviews, Garland has hinted at fatigue with large-scale projects and franchise filmmaking. His 2024 film Civil War was a raw, unsettling take on American collapse, yet its release seemed to leave him worn down by the industry's machinery. If that experience made him weary of spectacle, then 28 Years Later, which will likely be a studio centerpiece, might feel like a step backward rather than forward. More importantly, Garland's recent projects suggest he's interested in ambiguity and surrealism, qualities that don't easily fit into the tidy narrative rhythms of a zombie sequel. Men, his most polarizing work, is almost dreamlike in structure, ending in grotesque abstraction. While divisive, it showcased Garland's drive to push horror into arthouse territory, something a high-profile sequel may not allow. If we consider Annihilation as a spiritual benchmark, it's clear Garland thrives when he's not confined by genre tropes or franchise expectations. That film didn't end with triumph or defeat, it ended with transformation. A Shimmer reflected Lena returns home, subtly but irrevocably changed, her eyes glowing with otherness. That's not a jump scare. That's existential horror. And it's Garland at his best. This doesn't mean 28 Years Later will fail. Quite the opposite, it may be a gripping, intense entry into the beloved series, especially with Cillian Murphy's return. But it may not be the project that nurtures Garland's evolving voice as a filmmaker. He's already told a virus story. What he seems more interested in now is telling mutation stories, how humans adapt, dissolve, and become undone. The danger is not that 28 Years Later will be bad. The danger is that it will be too safe, too formulaic for a filmmaker whose